Caroline was like, Chioma, I don't owe her any apology.
Guys, today's video, I'm going to be talking about the interview that Iyabo and Chioma had with. If you guys are seeing my face for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for clicking. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. So guys, Iyabo and Chioma took the liberty to have a 3 hours 6 minutes long interview with a podcast team. So you guys already know that I talk about Real Housewives of Lagos. It took me so long, like it actually took me so long to listen to that podcast, because personally I just thought it was so long. Like, why is the interview so long? But you know what, I think it was Saturday, I was getting ready to go for a wedding, and I was like, you know what, let me just listen to this podcast, because people that I've been speaking to about, tell me what's in the podcast. Like, I've been telling people to summarize for me, and they're like, Derin, trust me, I just think you need to listen to it and, summarize it in the best way possible. The podcast was really insightful. One thing I know is it's really good to do interviews when you do reality shows. It's dicey. I mean, it's good to do like an interview, because that way you throw light into more situations that the public might not really know. At the same time, you have to like mind the things you say, so it doesn't look like you're trying to like throw someone under the bus, or you're trying to make yourself look good. Somehow, this interview that Iyabo and Chioma did, I personally think it was insightful. I don't really think they were deliberately trying to throw anyone under the bus, to be honest, if you ask me. I liked the interview. It kind of gave more light to how episode 12 ended. Like, it was just really surprising for me. Like, when the episode ended, I was like, what is going on? Like, Chioma cannot be upset with Caroline just because she didn't say sorry. Like, there has to be something else. Like, we can all agree that, we felt that something more happened. And the interview that Chioma and Iyabo had, it kind of really puts insight into what happened, and I'm going to be breaking it down for you guys. Like, there are some things that really stuck with me that I'm going to share with you guys. I hope that you guys will take the time to actually listen to the full interview. If you have already listened to the full interview, let me know your opinion in the comment section. Like, this is a safe space there. Just tell me what you think about the interview, and I'm gonna share with you guys what I was able to like deduce from the interview. So let's really jump into it. The first thing that was discussed was the quarrel between Chioma and Iyabo. Guys, I think Caroline kind of underplayed her part in the quarrel, to be honest. Because remember that Iyabo said, and she insisted, that it wasn't the room situation that caused the quarrel, and the interview kind of gave insight to that.
And Caroline told me, and I said, okay, no problem. Since her husband needs a place to stay, they can stay in that apartment, and then me and Caroline will just share the room. We both agreed. Yeah.
Toyi wanted to stay close to her husband, and she actually went ahead to speak to Caroline, not even Chioma, Caroline, to say, oh, this is the situation at hand, there is this room available for you guys. Remember that old looking house that they moved out of that house and they went to the villa. Sadly, this villa had 3 rooms, so nobody wanted to stay with our sister Laura. You guys already know that. Mariam had 1 room, then he had just 1 room left, so that 1 room had 2 beds. So it was supposed to be taken by either Iyabo and Toyi or Chioma and Caroline. But the reason why Iyabo and Toyi could not even have taken that room is because Toyi wanted to be close to her husband, and that villa is really far from her husband. So she now told them that, you know what, like, please, can you guys, you and Chioma, stay in this room while me and Iyabo go to another apartment that is going to be closer to my fiance. And the first person she actually spoke to about this situation was Caroline, and Caroline was like, oh yeah, that is fine. So Caroline then went to talk to Chioma about it, and Chioma was like, oh yeah, that is okay. And it only makes sense because both of them were inseparable. Like, they're so close. They were literally the closest in the bunch of the girls. But Iyabo didn't actually think it was a problem, because she accepted. She was not even there when they discussed it. So apparently Iyabo said that when they were going to the yacht, you guys remember the party they had on the yacht, she had to move with Mariam, Laura and Toyi, and that's because Chioma had a G-Wagon in Dubai that she was driving with Caroline, so they went by themselves. And then Iyabo, Toyi, Laura and Mariam were together in the car, and they had a very long conversation. where, you know, Laura went ahead to try to settle things, and Iyabo was like, it made sense what she was saying, but the only thing is that she said, as long as you don't have issues with my friend. And you know, Laura was like, I don't have issues with your friend, like the only issue I have with Caroline is that she lied that I was pimped. And you know, Iyabo just said, okay, you know what, and they had a good conversation and they were talking. So I guess when they got on the yacht and Caroline saw that Iyabo was talking to Laura, Iyabo, Caroline and Chioma kind of speak and talk together. So she already knows that, you know, Caroline is not speaking to Laura. So now seeing Iyabo with Laura, let's be honest, it can actually piss, you know, you can't be friends with your friend's enemy. Do you understand? So he might have actually taken her surprisingly, like, oh, why is she speaking to her? According to Iyabo, she still had to ride back to the house with Laura. Chioma and Caroline left early and went to the mall, and by the time like they came back to the house, she met Iyabo still in a conversation with Laura, and she said that from the way that Caroline came into the house and wasn't smiling and just walked upstairs, it was obvious that, you know, Caroline was pissed off.
And then when we got back to the apartment, Iyabo's right. She was talking to Laura. Her and Toyin and Laura were having a conversation. And I think that pissed off Caroline, that Iyabo was having a conversation with Laura, because, I mean, naturally, she probably expected that, oh, we're still not all talking to Laura.
Which, you know, understandably, like, why are you being friends with my enemy? And until it was time to go to their own apartment to sleep. And then she went upstairs and was trying to say goodnight to Caroline. And, you know, Caroline started, you know, shouting. It wasn't just the insensitive comments that Caroline made that made her want to jump Caroline.
I will get upset because people don't understand what happened. They just felt she said, you're insensitive, and the next thing I want to beat her. No, she wasn't. So she was using her voice. So then, why are you? What are you going to do? Yeah, you're not my mother. Go. What is it? Leave me alone. You know, like, I was like, where is all this noise coming from? Where's all this anger coming from? I didn't even know then that she was upset that I spoke to Laura. I didn't know. I just felt like there was more to this issue.
She said that it was a bunch of insults. It was a lot of stuff that Caroline was saying. And she was so surprised because she's like, where is this coming from? I thought, you know, you already settled with Toyin and said it was fine. You could share a room with Chioma. Like, why are you so pissed off? And even if you're pissed off, like, explain yourself calmly. Why are you screaming at me? Why are you insulting me? And she was like, oh, you're doing too much. You're this, you're not my mom. You know, and she was wondering, like, why are you shouting at me? Like, the person you should be shouting at is Tiana. Like, not me. Like, I'm your friend. You should explain. Which makes sense. Like, to be honest, Iyabo didn't share the room. Tiana is the one that allocated the room. So if you have a problem with the room, you know, you're supposed to speak to Tiana and not Iyabo. However, Chioma actually pointed that when they were in the car to the mall, Caroline kind of indicated some sort of discomfort in the whole issue, and she was like, and why is producers letting us share a room? And you know, Chioma had to remind her that no, it's not the producers.
And I was like, but it's not production making us share a room. Production have said that me and you can have the apartment. You're the one that just agreed to Toyin that you don't mind sharing a room. She was like, but at the end of the day, why us though? Why did she have to ask me and you? Why didn't she ask anybody else? And I was like, obviously because we're the closest.
The producers already said we can have the apartment. It's you that agreed to Toyin that, you know, we could share a room, and I don't think it's a problem. And you know, and Caroline was already making, you know, the situation uneasy. But I guess the reason why she now flared up is the fact that I think it's the Laura situation and the accommodation situation. It has to be, it can't be just the accommodation situation. Like, it has to be the Laura situation and that accommodation situation that actually made her flare up. And you know, Chioma said it was really serious, that even her was confused, and you know, the things that she was saying.
The room. Do you understand? And I heard her said, yeah, your own is too much. What is it? I don't feel. I just turned back because, like, I was like, okay, you don't want to shut up, I will shut you up. That was my reaction. Do you understand? And so I moved towards her. Chioma just jumped in front of me. And I am so sorry, because when I'm angry, please, you should understand, we are all different.
Iyabo actually said that there was a time she wanted to walk out of the room, and you know, she just felt so bad because Caroline kept talking and she was talking, and everybody was like, you know, calm down, and she just kept talking. And that was the time that she decided to jump her. Guys, irrespective of what happened, I still think it's a problem that Iyabo moved to actually physically assault Caroline. I still think it's a problem. However, I don't think he would have gotten there if Caroline handled the situation a bit better, to be honest. So, you know, Iyabo said she felt really hurt, and she was like, why is Caroline speaking to me in this manner? I haven't done anything to, you know, warrant this kind of, you know, reaction from Caroline. You know, she was pissed off. She had to go to bed really upset and everything. Chioma's reason for acting the way that she was acting, when I mean acting the way she was acting, pushing Caroline to apologize, kind of made sense, because, you know, Chioma said she was in the room, she saw how, you know, the fight broke out. She thought it was totally unnecessary, and that was why she was really pushing Caroline to, you know, apologize that night. Chioma and Iyabo also made serious allegations about Caroline's behavior.
Caroline, the show has constantly complained about you. What is the problem? They say you're so rude to your crew members, people that you're frustrating them. I don't like the fact that you're coming to complain about you every time to me, and it will be like I'm indulging you. Do you understand? I don't like it. What is your problem with the show? Let us finish this thing. You signed the contract. You knew about everything. You read the contract now.
They talked about how she has issues with the crew, the producers, and now the producers almost didn't want her on the show anymore. They're coming to a quota, and it was Iyabo that had to, like, you know, go and speak on her behalf. That came and caught me by surprise. The reason why it's kind of believable is because if it's not true, I think the production team would have actually come out to, you know, say, no, that is not true, that didn't happen. But for the production team to be quiet, they haven't actually disclaimed or said, oh no, that interview, what they said is wrong. So it's possible that Caroline probably had issues with the production team. According to them, Caroline is condescending, you know, she's rude to the production team, she's made numerous staff of, like, the production team quit their job, she's made people cry. That was so surprising. To be honest, it's surprising and not surprising. The reason why it's not surprising is because I've seen her upset, so I can imagine the things that she says when she's upset. So she's someone that would make you cry without even touching you, so that is believable. But the way she comes in her confessionals and acts so calm, so put together, it almost makes me want to believe Laura's claims about her being manipulative, to be honest. Because, you know, she comes to her confessionals and she's so calm, she puts everything under control. But like when she's upset with people, the things that she says, it made me quite uneasy.
Caroline had issues with every single person one by one. Majority of it was not on camera, and this is inclusive of the entire production, cast, team, everybody she had an issue with.
And I would just like to ask you guys what you guys think. Do you guys actually think that, you know, Caroline is very hard to manage and she's acting for TV? Guys, she's an actor, so it might be possible that she's acting for TV, but according to Chioma's claims, she's had numerous issues with the production team to the point that they almost wanted to drop her off the show. That is crazy. And for Iyabo to be the one that has been trying to beg and to keep her on the show, I can imagine how painful that must have been for, you know, Iyabo. And, you know, this is how she's, you know, paying me back. I do so much stuff for you.
But this is a girl that I sent. Do you understand? This is a girl that when the show wanted, like when she said she was going, everybody was tired. The show said she can go if she wants to go. I was the one that was begging for her. Do you understand? I was the one that was making excuses for her. Chioma was making excuses for her. I was making excuses for her. Do you understand? Even the day at the hotel, when they asked me that she said she was going, she was done with this show, after this was done. Do you understand? Chioma was like, yeah, but please try and talk to her. I've been talking to her. Maybe when you talk to her again, it wasn't my business. I could have said, whoa, she was going to let her go. Do you understand?
And for you to now, like, scream at me now, just from accommodation, that is not directly my fault. Like, are you sure there is nothing else? And that was Iyabo's problem. Iyabo said she kept trying to act like, are you sure it's just this room issue? And she was like, yeah, it's transferred aggression. And they are disclaiming that it can't be transferred aggression because it was never production team that made her share the room. It was Tony. So guys, does it now make sense that it might be because Iyabo was talking to Laura that, you know, Caroline was upset? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Somehow I kind of believe that, to be honest. I don't fully believe it's just the room. It might be the room, but I think then Caroline walking into Iyabo talking to Laura again might have, you know, added to the situation. Yeah, I think it might have added to the situation. But one thing Iyabo said is, Iyabo said that she knows that, you know, what she did is not right and she takes responsibility for it. I think I like the fact that she said that, but she also clarified and stated that, you know, people are different. Like, she doesn't know how to, like, blah 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 blah. She said it like she doesn't know how to do back and forth.
But this, I don't do girly fight. Do you understand? I don't have time for
that she just wanted, you know, she wanted everything to just end. She was like, you know what, if you don't want to shut up, I'm gonna show you up, because obviously I'm trying to tell you to calm down, but you don't want to calm down. So, you know, she said that people are different, but that's how she reacts when she's upset. And guys, something that Chioma said that really touched me, to be honest. I think that is, you know, the most form of loyalty you can, you know, show your friend, and that's, you know, stepping in when there's a fight. I'm not gonna lie, she said that the reason why she stepped in front of that fight is because she remembers a conversation she had with Iyabo.
Now, the reason why I stood in front is because Iyabo had told us a story about how when she fights, she likes to put people into glass. And she likes to see blood. And if she doesn't see blood, her body's not going to be okay. And I remember this story. And that day, Caroline was standing next to a glass window. We're actually in Miriam's room, because to be honest, we actually didn't have a room at that point in time. So maybe that added to her frustration, I don't know. But we were in Miriam's room. She was standing by the glass. And the way Iyabo walked away, you know when someone's insulting you and you're just walking away and then you're like, actually, hold on, who the hell? So she turned around. She bent and she turned around and she started running towards Caroline. And I was like, no, Caroline is going through this glass.
Where Iyabo said when she fights, sometimes it turns bloody. Imagine remembering that your friend said that and you still stepped in. So meaning you didn't mind getting hurt in place of Caroline. That is a big deal. I don't think I can do that. Like, it takes a lot for your friend to actually do that for you. And to be honest, I don't think I can do that for someone that I met in 3 months, to stand in place of you when someone is trying to have a fight with you, and then to the extent where I'm thrown around the room. Like, that is a bit much if you ask me. I don't think I can do that. Personally, I do not think I can. Like, I would say, oh, you guys don't fight, or you guys don't quarrel, but not to the extent of me now like standing in front of, you know, the attacker. No, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Okay, so you guys remember that, you know, Caroline said I've apologized 3 times, blah, blah, blah. And none of us were like, 3 times, it's enough now. Why is she still upset? So let me tell you guys why I kind of agree with Iyabo, why the 3 apologies didn't make sense, which I think she should have taken as my big sis. And she decided to actually do that after a while. The first time that Caroline apologized was immediately after the argument broke up. And this was after, you know, Chioma and Miriam were like, you know, go and apologize, which I think wasn't the best time to like end the night, because according to Iyabo, it was middle of the night. She literally just had to take the apology because she just wanted everyone to go and sleep. The next day was Billionaire's club, and that was when, you know, Caroline was hosting. Iyabo said she almost didn't want to go, but you know, Mariam and Chioma were like, oh no, please come. She decided to go. Apparently, according to Chioma, they didn't show us anything at Billionaire's club because herself and Iyabo were in the toilet for over an hour, and I was like, wow.
If they showed it as it was, you'll see that me and Iyabo were out of our seats for 1.5 hours throughout that evening. I didn't even eat anything at Billionaire's club.
The menu was really low. I noticed you and Iyabo's the menu at the
It was very low.
She says that in the toilet, Iyabo was still crying, like also crying, because she's like, how do I help you? Because she understood how, you know, Iyabo was feeling. And at this time, she said when she was coming out of Billionaire's Club, she proceeded to tell Caroline that, you know what, like, Iyabo is still hot, like, you need to go and speak to her. And Caroline was like, oh no, I'm not apologizing, blah blah blah, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And that's the first time. Remember that the first time she apologized was right after the quarrel. If you wanted to apologize to somebody, I feel like it should have been a day after, when you have settled, so it looks like, okay, I have realized what I have done, so now I'm coming to say sorry. So according to Chioma, they were in the room, and you know, Caroline now says, oh, you know what, like, what were you doing in the toilet for so long? And she was like, you know, Iyabo was crying, she's hot, you need to still, you know, speak to her and talk to her. And according to Chioma, at this point, she was telling her that, you know, just speak to her, because I guess what Iyabo was telling Chioma at the time was, I just want to know why she said all the things that she said, which makes sense. Like, why were you so mad? Like, it can't be the room. So Iyabo said she was really interested in knowing why, and you know, she wanted to speak to Caroline at the time, but obviously Caroline was like, oh, why is she still hot? Like, I'm not gonna talk to her, I don't care, I've bought her a perfume. So apparently when they came out of the club, of the Billionaire Club, that's when Caroline decided to give Iyabo the perfume. She gave her the perfume outside their accommodation, so obviously Iyabo must have taken it, whether she wanted to accept the gift or not. But for her to turn it down like the next day, to be honest, I don't think it was a problem, because she gave it to her in public. Like I said, she didn't want to disgrace her by not accepting the gift, if that makes sense. And then when they got back to the room, that's when Caroline proceeded to say, okay, what were you guys doing in the toilet for so long? And then that's when she told her that, you know, Iyabo is still hot. She was crying, I had to stay with her and everything. And you know, Caroline was like, why is she hot? Like, what is hurting her so much? Like, why is she upset? And she said she told Caroline, that you can't say that. Like, this is the things that you said, and you know, just go and talk to her. Like, you don't even need to apologize. Just talk to her and let her understand that, you know, you still love her. She's not doing too much. You were just upset. And Caroline was like, no, I'm not talking to her. I've given her a gift. She take her gifts and go. That became an argument where Chioma said, you know, they were both arguing, insulting each other, calling each other mad, stupid.
Gift was still saying she's not going to have a conversation with me again. If I cannot take the sorry that she has given and the gift, I should fuck off. True picture. Now I know who you truly are. Now I can read your mind. Now I know that that gift you gave me was fake.
Iyabo walked in, and you know, she heard part of the conversation and went downstairs to sit down. I don't believe that anyway. I feel like somebody told her, not that she went downstairs and walked in, yeah, all those drama. But apparently she heard part of the conversation, and that kind of made her even more mad. And she's like, oh wow, so all the apologies that you've been doing, it didn't come from your heart. Because if someone told you that your friend that you had an argument with is crying for 1 hour 30 minutes just because she doesn't know why you did what you did, and your response is, I don't care, I've given her a gift, she take her gift and get out, like, that just shows that, you know, you don't really care about your friend. And I kind of agree. Iyabo proceeds to go and see Chioma. She says Chioma was crying, you know, talking about how her body is bruised and she's not happy, that, you know, the person that she did all of this for just doesn't seem to care, which makes so much sense. So you guys remember the statement that Chioma made when Chioma was like, you're grateful, I'm the reason why you're standing here. And I was like, that's a bit much for a mother of 3. What do you mean? Chioma actually said that she didn't mean that in any financial way, that obviously everyone is good, but she meant it in the aspect of, you know, apologizing to this person, talking to this producer. And to be honest, that kind of makes sense. And in Iyabo's words as well, Iyabo said that they, you know, like I said about her behavior, that they've had to like speak to this producer at one time, speak to that crew member at one time, speak to this, like, just to keep Caroline on the show. So she said she meant what she said, like her being ungrateful, that it wasn't because of anything financial, which is kind of valid. And I kind of feel like Chioma's anger was valid. However, should she have expressed herself in a better way? Maybe, because the words that Chioma said, oh my god, they are so unforgettable. Like, they are very, very, very unforgettable. Like, she shouldn't have used the words that she used. So according to Chioma, Caroline actually showed no empathy to her and her injuries.
Fine, let me see your bruises, let me see your body, let me see your thighs, let me see your arm. You got in the way for me. I'm sorry that you got injured on my behalf. On God, she never used those words on me.
And that by the pool, the conversation that day was not even supposed to be about the arguments that the girls had, because it was an effort to make sure that, you know, the arguments didn't even come on TV. So, you know, Iyabo was just supposed to start a conversation just to show that, you know, everything is fine now. So Iyabo's way of starting a conversation was to just say, you know, Caroline, apologize to you, to Chioma, like your friend. And next thing, Caroline goes to say, oh, I don't owe her any apology.
Do you understand? So we don't have to bring the drama on the show. Caroline said, I don't owe her an apology and I'm not apologizing.
And I guess that's what pissed off Chioma. She was like, what do you mean you don't owe me any apology? You were not genuinely sorry. Your sorry wasn't genuine. Your apology wasn't genuine. It wasn't actually for Iyabo's apology. It was actually to Chioma.
That's what the show made it that way.
Okay.
When Chioma said, I know you're not sorry, it wasn't for me. It was for her.
It's because of the way she said, oh, I don't owe you any apology. She now referred it back to, you know, Iyabo's situation as well. Even when you offended Iyabo, I literally had to press you to go and apologize. And now that you've hurt me, you're now saying that you don't owe me an apology. Like, how do you now want me to believe that the apology that you made to Iyabo in the first place is genuine? Do you guys get it? I would actually recommend that you guys listen to the interview by yourself. It's 3 hours 6 minutes. It is long, guys. I had to mentally prepare myself, but I really wanted to get an understanding of Chioma's reaction in that last episode, because it was so irrational, if you ask me. And I don't actually see her as that kind of person. Like, on the show, I would like to actually think that she's one of the most put together persons on the show. So when she was acting out in that episode, I was like, it can't be just this issue. She also clarified that she never went to Laura's room, and that when she was saying that, oh, now I'm with Laura, she just meant that, you know, she can understand what Laura was feeling about Caroline being a liar. And according to Laura, Caroline made up the story that she was pimped. And according to Chioma as well, some of the things Caroline was saying to her wasn't true, and she just lies and everything. Guys, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Caroline is manipulative? Do you guys think Caroline is a liar? Do you guys think Caroline has us wrap under her fingernails? What do you guys think about Caroline? At this point, I'm having mixed feeling about Caroline. Anyways, guys, you guys already know that on Friday, the first episode of the reunion is coming out. I just want to say the reunion, and I hope that everyone is able to say their truth and just, you know, express themselves without really needing to touch someone else. I think that is the red flag for me. Like, women will fight. We're never the same. Like, we would fight. Like, so anybody that's going to say, oh, I need women that would not fight is a liar. Like, we will fight, but are we doing it gracefully? Are we respecting each other's boundaries? Like, that is the problem. You don't need to actually physically touch somebody else because they've said something that you don't like. Imagine if you're slapping everybody that is annoying you. Like, what if someone just dies? That is so funny, to be honest. I find it so weird, like the way, like, they're just quick to beat each other. Like, I saw the reunion video and I saw Toyin trying to slap Chioma. She was like, I will slap you, and in my head I'm like, that is funny. Like, why would you want to slap Chioma? Like, that is weird. A whole Chioma, that's somebody's babe, somebody's crush. Guys, I'm gonna see you guys in another video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think when it comes to this video. Let me know if you guys have listened to the podcast. Until next time, guys, I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in another video. Bye.